What's up, beautiful nature family? Welcome back to another video where I'm gonna talk about a topic that I have mentioned many times, and it's also a bit of the core message of my channel, but I'm gonna break it down as good as I can from my intuition in the here and now, which is the topic of this video: nature versus Big Pharma. So natural medicine versus allopathic medicine. So we live in a society that calls nature's flowers, seeds, barks, roots, leaves, whatever, even the food, alternative medicine. And in today's society, 90% of all people walk around and call nature's timeless things that have existed since the beginning of time alternative medicine, and synthetic chemicals made in laboratories by humans medicine, which is actually synthetic drugs. And allopathic medicine has only existed between 125 years to 200 years ish. So one of them that we call alternative medicine has existed for 10,000 years, 1,000 years, since the beginning of this earth, basically. And that we call alternative medicine. So I'm just gonna break down a little bit about allopathic medicine. And allopathic medicine, wait, can you move a little bit to the left? Is synthetic chemicals made in laboratories from petroleum rest products. The first synthetic chemicals that we call medicines in today's society was made from petroleum. And these synthetic chemicals are very acidic for our body and have a acidic reaction and create inflammation. And these medicines, I call them drugs, mask the symptoms of disease. So when you have a sickness, a disease, your body is telling you something is wrong, instead of going to the root cause of the disease and removing the root cause while also supplying some type of medicine, bark, root, something to alleviate the symptoms and help you don't feel the pains, or something that speeds up the healing of that organ or symptom or disease you have. But in allopathic medicine, they just give you pills that mask the symptoms, that numbs the symptoms, or sometimes even removes the symptoms for a while. But if you don't remove the cause of the disease, the disease is still gonna come back. And that is the biggest thing that allopathic, Big Pharma, pharmaceutical medicines is missing, because a patient cured is a customer lost, excuse me. And it's so simple. Like, in another video I will break down in biochemistry and show you what actually humans are made to eat according to our biology, which is fruits, nuts, seeds and vegetables, and whole grains too. But mainly we're made to consume raw fruits, actually, the most natural thing to our biology. Like, every species in nature has a specific food that they're designed to eat. And we're very similar to the gorillas, especially the silver gorillas also, but gorillas in general. And they eat like 98% fruits and leaves. So they're frugivores, and so are we. But in this crazy time we're in right now, we are feeding synthetic chemicals, drugs, pills that we today think is medicine. We feed them to little kids. They say there's wrong with kids. We feed unnatural food like processed sugar, synthetic sweeteners, E-numbers, preservatives, conservatives. We feed all these synthetic foods and chemicals to our kids at an early age, and huge amounts of processed sugar, which overstimulates the brain and makes it super hard to have a clear attention and keeps you constantly on a up and down of a sugar high. So we're basically we're feeding our kids drugs through the foods, thanks to mass production and all these big corporations. And these corporations are also owned by the pharmaceutical companies, just so a little heads up, at least many of them. And then the kids are hyperactive, they're stressed, they're angry, they can't sit still in school, and parents take their kids to the doctor and they're like, what's wrong with this kid? And there's actually nothing wrong whatsoever with your kid. It's actually just being fed the wrong foods, maybe getting overstimulation from screens, maybe not enough attention from the parents, but mostly not being fed real food and too much sugar, so their brain is overstimulated. This is the case for most kids, unless you have a really conscious parents that are conscious about eating whole foods, real food, things directly from the soil, directly from nature. And then they're like, oh, go to the doctor. Doctor's like, oh, yeah, there's something wrong with your kid. His brain isn't working properly. Here, take this pill and give it to your kids. And so the pills, for example, for like ADHD, let's just use that as an example now, is literally meth. It's amphetamine, it's hard drugs, and everybody knows, you learn this in school in most places around the world, that if you become dependent on a hard drug at an early age, you really slow the development of your emotions, of your brain, like literally you slow the development, or hinder even, the development of your brain. Because you become dependent on something, so your brain stops producing this naturally. And everybody's trusting these doctors to be the savior, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, the doctors are trying their best. The doctors don't even know what they're doing because we all been so heavily indoctrinated. But to actually cure things, we have to go to the root cause of the disease, which it is in the big picture acidosis. It is a lack of oxygen to your cells, and the lack of oxygen to your cells shows up in different ways in your body. So if you have genetic weaknesses, like you have a weak liver, or you have a genetic weakness of a weak kidney, then that's where your disease is gonna show up first, depending on your family and your genetics. But it's all reversible. The body is self-healing, and there is nothing wrong with our kids, there's nothing wrong with you, and you might be sick or have a disease, but there is no incurable disease. There's only incurable people that don't want to do something about it and trust this broken system that just keeps people hooked on pharmaceutical medicines. And to really break it down as simple as I can in words, with the love of God and creation, is that everything we really need comes from nature. God has already made a herb, a leaf, a root, a seed, a nut, for every tissue, for every organ, for everything in your body. There exists a medicine for it in nature. And like Hippocrates, sorry, it was a little word blur, which is like, he existed before Christ, if I remember my history already, and that is the Hippocratic oath all doctors take. But he only used plants. Herbs are the healing of the nation, and he cured every patient that came to him with herbal medicine, with plant medicine, with nature. And of course with fasting and eating right, not just like, here's a herb. Sometimes it's enough, just here's a herb for that organ. But literally, if he was curing diseases thousands of years ago, and everyone who came to him was literally helped and cured by the power of nature, Why are doctors taking the Hippocratic oath, promising to help people with all their power, and not even using his teachings, not even using what he was using to solve all of these things, to cure people? But it's not the doctor's fault. They have been indoctrinated by a false system, by a sweet lie from big oil companies that decided to do something with all the money they had. Names shall not be mentioned in this video, but you can find out for yourself, I promise. Just a little bit of research. And the truth is, the root cause of your disease, as I said earlier, is a lack of oxygen. And foods can either be acid forming for your body, or they can be alkaline forming for your body. And that depends on the mineral composition of that food. So after your hydrochloric acid in your belly digest it, it will leave a mineral ash. And depending on that mineral ash, if it has magnesium, potassium, or whatever, if it has majority alkaline minerals, it will be alkaline forming for your body. And it will help your cells get the oxygen that they need. But when you eat too much acidic food like meat, processed dairy, processed sugar, synthetic chemicals, sweeteners, you name it, anything unnatural and processed, when you digest that food, you will have an acidic reaction from acid minerals. And when your body gets too much acidity, it sends a mucus because acidity is hot. There's only two sides of chemistry. There's alkalinity, like base, and there's acidity. And it's alkaline is over 7, and anything under 7 is more and more acidic. And the lower scale of acidity, like the lowest part, 0, 1, 2, whatever, is a super hot. Like acid is hot, it burns, it creates inflammation, it warms things up. And when you get too much acidity in your body and your body is self-healing, it brings mucus. Mucosa is produced more from the mucous membrane to cool all these things down. So it sends mucus to cool down this acidity. And this mucus is there to help at first, but if you're constantly eating acidic food that needs your body to produce mucus to cool down the fire, because the mucus is highly alkaline, then the mucus just keeps getting more and more, and your lymphatic system and your body doesn't have time to eliminate it through your elimination organs like your skin, sweating, peeing, pooping, saliva, nostrils, and it just builds up more and more mucus. And your body is a natural self-healing machine. So in today's society, people don't even know why we get colds or why we get fevers. And that's actually the natural detoxification process of your body. So if you get a splinter or something in your body, it goes in, and you can't get it out. Your body will naturally do its best to eliminate it through pushing it out with mucus or whatever, with pus or anything. It will do its best to shove what does not belong in your body out of your body. So this mucus we produce to calm down the fire of acidity, of acidosis. When it becomes too much, our lymphatic system becomes clogged up, which is our sewage system that helps remove waste out of the body. When that lymphatic waste system is clogged up, you just get more and more mucus, and your body doesn't have time to clear it out. It's clogged up, and that mucus calcifies and makes, I don't remember exactly what it's called right now, but like hardened calcium. And that is like the cause of like arthritis and stuff like that. Mucus actually calcifying and becoming hard. And is all just lack of oxygen to the cell, because this mucus comes around the cell, and more mucus comes around the cells, and the cells get less and less oxygen. And when you're depriving your cell of oxygen, first it just gets like 90% oxygen, 80% oxygen, and 70%, and then it's just getting less and less. And after a certain time, the cell starts dying, and that's what we call a cancer cell, or a beginning of a cell getting an inflammation. The more less oxygen it gets, the more inflamed it gets, and then when it gets under a certain point, it's a dying cell, it's a sick cell. And that's what we call, in society at least, a cancer cell. And then your body, to protect that dying cell, when it's dying, it starts eating of itself, it starts eating reserved sugars and all kinds of things. And if that dying cell is close to other cells, like a rotten apple, it spreads its dyingness to the other cells next to it. So since the body is self-healing and wants to protect itself, it creates a barrier around that dying cell so it doesn't spread its disease to the cells around it, and that's what we call a tumor. And these things are so simple once you start breaking them down. This has been proven in the scientific method, in biochemistry, in the natural biology of our body, how it works, digestion and everything. This has been proven with scientific method over and over again. Cellular regeneration. Your whole body is made out of cells. So if you target healing at a cellular level, then you will heal every disease, because everything in your body is made out of cells. So if you focus on the cellular healing, you will heal everything, or you won't do shit. Your body is self-healing. You will create an environment for your body where it's thriving and it's healthy enough and flowing enough, and your lymphatic system is moving to clear out everything in your system that doesn't belong there. And there's even like Dr. Otto, a guy who won a Nobel Prize, that no disease can exist in an alkaline environment. And he won a Nobel Prize for this. You could research into it. But otherwise, I just recommend, like in biochemistry, check out Robert Morse, ND Robert Morse. He has a website, Morse TV. He used to have a YouTube channel with hundreds of thousands of followers, but he got, in the last censor year of YouTube, his whole channel got removed, and now he has his own website. I can also link his book in the description. Check out Dr. Sebi, Yahki Awakened. These are people that cured every single disease known to mankind through the science of biochemistry. And if we really get this clear understanding that there's only two sides of chemistry, and one is burning our cells and one is oxygenating our cells, the more we switch over to the oxygenating side and give our cells oxygen, the more our bodies will naturally heal, and they will be in their homeostasis, where everything heals itself, and we're in the natural state, and the body is just being fed the things it's made to eat. And if you have any more questions or specific things, both check out Robert Morse's website, or write to me on Instagram, write to me on Snapchat, wherever you can find me. If you need help with something, I'm very happy to guide you how to start reversing your disease. And this is not a video where it's like, oh, I'm a doctor, I'm a this, like, no, I just want to help you guys understand how your body works, what is the natural diet, what is our bodies designed to eat, and what is the cause of disease. And in allopathic medicine, pharmaceutical medicines, a customer cured is a patient lost. Even if the doctors don't follow that, that's what the whole medical system is built upon. Because chronic diseases or autoimmune diseases, all these things they say is permanent, and you can only help treat the symptoms. You cannot reverse it. isn't a big fat lie. It's a big fat money scam. And not only are we calling our kids sick, feeding them drugs, we're doing it to the elders, it's normalized. Like every household would rather go take a pill out of the cabin and go buy pills in a pharmacy and not even question what's inside it, what chemicals are it made out of, how was this made, what does it do to my body. But if I pick this is fennel seeds, and I take them and I put them in a tea, which is super healthy for many things, and I go to a person that's sick, they're gonna be like, what is that? What does it do? And they're almost gonna be like, what? Are you sure? Is it safe? Can I really drink this leaf? But no one ever asks that questions when it comes to synthetic chemicals that they don't even understand how they're made or what they're made out of. So God made nature, and we are also a part of God. We are the I am that is God. But we made all these synthetic chemicals in laboratories from a super unconscious state. When we're sleeping, we don't even remember the source of creation. And healing is possible. Reversing disease, removing the word chronic disease, and realizing that with the right tools, with the right understanding, with the right food, with the right herbs, and the right mindset, you can live healthy, vibrant, happy, and be completely disease free. And this is not only like now, this has been proven in biochemistry, and it's just censored on the internet. And we still have cancer research and people donating to cancer. Well, that has already been solved. But even in ancient things like Ayurveda, in yoga, in yogic tradition, they also knew how to reverse or heal every disease known to mankind by oxygenating the cells, just in a little bit of a different way. And in yoga, for yogis, if you're living a pure life in union with God and you're practicing to be one with God, they have 3 types of food. They have tamasic and rajasic and sattvic. And tamasic is dull food and things that just make you slow and dumb, like meat, alcohol, just for example. And then Rajasic is more stimulant things that give you energy temporarily, but they take energy, so they stimulate you. And there you got like coffee, tobacco, strong spices, maybe like black pepper. There's many more things. Sodas, white sugar. And then on the sattvic side, which is basically on the alkaline side, but in ancient tradition and words, you got the fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, whole grains, nuts and seeds, basically. And there's some there that go which a little bit on the rajasic side also, but in general that's the sattvic food for a yogi that wants to be full of life force and feel vibrant and alive. To feel alive, you want to eat living food directly from nature, to be simple in terms. So this has been known throughout the ages by all enlightened masters, and God did not make us to be sick. The body is a self-healing system. We get colds and fevers because we fill our body up with mucus, and then when the body has so much mucus, it needs to get it out urgently. It starts getting a cold or pneumonia, I can't even say it, but bronchitis, something like that. It gets some kind of disease where it's just like, it has to do with mucus, to get the mucus out. And it's the same with fevers. Fevers also is just toxins being eliminated through your largest elimination organ, which is your skin. And all disease is just a lack of oxygen to your cells. And the root cause of disease is acidic food. But if you break it down inside your body, the root cause of disease is mucus. If you eliminate mucus from your body, you eliminate disease from your body. And I will break this down, sorry, excuse me, in more videos, but this is just a little simple breakdown. Pharma versus nature, God versus man-made, God-made versus man-made. And it's quite clear and simple once you start seeing the simplicity of life as it is. And it's also been proven by the scientific method, by all the science-loving people there. Not even theory, scientific method, when you've tried it over and over again and seen the same results over and over again. Literally, Robert Morse has proven on video, pictures and everything, tissue regeneration. Regeneration of cells or tissue is impossible according to Big Pharma. It's not possible. And he has had a patient with type 2 diabetes that his body is dying, his toe rots off to here, and his skeleton is sticking out, and it's all dead and black, and the doctor's like, you have to amputate this. And his wife contacted Robert Morse, and he went to him, and it took 6 months on only fruits and herbal tinctures and teas. And he grew his whole toe back with a new bone came out, and his whole toe grew back. So that in itself is amazing. And I also recommend to check out Dr. Sebi and his court cases where he actually won against Big Pharma for reversing AIDS, HIV and sickle cell, whatever it's called. And it's so amazing. And it's suppressed knowledge, but it's the truth. It's the eternal truth of nature. God did not make us to be sick. And it's crazy that we live in the so-called most advanced society of humanity and we don't even know the root cause of getting a cold. They just think it's some virus. And of course you can catch a virus, but you can only have a virus, bacteria or parasite live inside of you if you have an environment that can host it. Because those things need to eat. Your cells need to eat, you need to eat, everything in nature needs a sustainable food somehow to survive and thrive. So if you have an alkaline environment, an oxygenated cell, and cleared out all the mucus of your body, you, even if you catch a virus from someone that has a spreadable germ or virus or anything like that, it will come inside you and you will sneeze and it will go out and it will not live in you. It will just whoop, whoop, die out. So that also says a lot about the virus scare that happened some while ago. If you use your brain, I'm not gonna say too much. But check out all these things. If you need some guidance, want some help, I am here to serve. I love you all so much. I just want to see you guys live healthy, live in peace, live at ease, and just be the love that God made us to be, and be healthy, thriving, vibrant, and the best version of your true self. Sat Nam, Namaste. I love you all so much. God bless you. Thank you for watching. If you watch all the way to here, please share, like, show your friends, or if you know someone that's sick, like, send the video to them, and let's inspire each other to break free from society's indoctrination and programming and this curse of irreversible and chronic diseases, which is just a big fat joke. God bless you all, and thank you for listening.